Well, hi there, folks. Welcome to the program. This, of course, is Stinchfield, the podcast. So great to be along with you today. Look, we got some real serious problems going on in the world. And the main problems stem from liberal ineptitude, leftist ineptitude, a woke ideology that enables very evil people to go out and do very evil things. So, as you know by now, we had two shootings over the weekend. You had the shooting at Brown University, which is looking more and more like one of the victims was a leader of the Republican Club. There are some indications that the teacher was teaching Judaic studies class. So you may have a combination of anti-Semitism and going after conservatives there. We will see. And then you've got ineptitude from Providence mayor, the police chief, all of this. Wait till you hear the lack of information. 6, 8, 10 hours after this shooting, they still don't know what the hell was going on. The lack of surveillance tape, 800 cameras on the campus of Brown University, and they can get one shot of this guy. Absolutely ridiculous. And then you go to Bondi Beach in Australia. Why did two Muslims, a father and son, go carry out such chaos? Because Australia let them. Australia welcomed in this radical Islamic ideology that is a total jihad mentality. And thankfully, of all things, you had a hero Muslim stop one of the shooters. And not who you would think. But again, that man is a real hero. We'll show you some of the video of all of that. So we're going to go through all of this. And gun control. Gun control is not the answer, yet that's what you hear on the left spewing right now. Australia wants to double down on its gun control. After confiscating most Australians' guns, and murder never actually went down in that country at all, which means if you're evil, you'll find ways to do evil things with or without a firearm. All right, before we get into all of that, Stinchfield1776 is, of course, my social media handle on just about everything. And please like the podcast, subscribe to it. Our friends at Patriot Mobile are such great supporters of this program. I have an iPhone. I use Patriot Mobile as my service provider, official service provider of Stinchfield's Army. 100% U.S.-based customer service. Switching is so easy. It literally takes minutes to switch. You just call 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT. They'll get you taken care of. Use that promo code GRANT. Right now, they're giving away a free phone. It's like a Christmas deal that they're doing. This is a great deal. They'll make you a deal to switch to. It's not going to cost you a lot of money to do that. PatriotMobile.com/Grant is the website to go to. Don't forget to use the promo code GRANT. And again, America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Why you would be spending money with anybody else, I have no idea. A portion of the money they collect from your bill will go to help veterans, will go to help save lives. They'll defend life and, of course, fight for our kids in schools across the country. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. All right, with that, folks, let's get the show started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right, well, it is great to be along with you today. I'll tell you what, watching this video play out, those are the two crazies at Bondi Beach that wreaked havoc. I don't know, this went on for probably 10 minutes or longer before that hero stepped in, before cops were able to shoot one of them. The father is who cops killed. And it's amazing that more people weren't killed. Now, the death toll continues to vary, but I'm hearing about 15, 16 people. The bottom line is Australia serves as an example as to why this happened. It welcomed in radical Islam. Australia is one of the countries, so many, go to Europe as well, that just embrace open border policies. And Australia doesn't have some of the same problems that they have in Europe or even we have. There's no land borders. Yet, Australia welcomed in this radical ideology, all the while taking away the guns from people. So again, you allow something like this to happen, where that hero who goes in and saves this guy, well, the hero doesn't have a firearm to help save him. The hero has got to go and just tackle the guy, as you see here. And apparently he got shot in his hand, got shot in his arm. But that man right there, who happens to also be a Muslim man, is a total 100% hero. God bless these people. So again, this goes back to the idea that gun ownership is very important. The only way to stop bad guys with guns is with good guys with guns. To steal my man Wayne LaPierre's very, very famous line. Here's the problem with Democrats. They refuse to acknowledge that evil exists in the world. They have this mentality that you can change people to just be nice. You can't. The only way to stop evil is with force. And the only way to stop a certain level of force is to bring an equal or greater level of force. This is why I say good guys with guns will save lives. Didn't happen in Australia at Bondi Beach. Now, again, this is anti-Semitism. They were going after Jews there. Then you have Brown University. Brown University, guy goes into a classroom and they have no surveillance footage of this guy, but one shot of him walking away. And then not a lot of information coming out. Even today, they get a person of interest, and then they've got to let the person of interest go. It's not the right guy. This was from yesterday, but it does explain a little of what happened.
And called into police. I mean, the reality is that this is a 7-story physics and engineering building that was unlocked, but this individual went to a specific classroom that was essentially in a study session for an exam on economics, and chose that classroom. And we know from a witness inside that this gunman yelled something. We don't know what this individual yelled, and then began shooting. We also know...
All right, now, there are some reports. Laura Loomer particularly is reporting that the shooter yelled, Allahu Akbar. I don't know if that's the case or not. Certainly wouldn't surprise me. We're getting indications that one of the teachers there was teaching Judaic studies and was Jewish. We also know that one of the victims killed in this Brown University shooting was the leader of the Republican students group on campus. To me, all of that says this was a targeted attack.
That this person reportedly used a handgun. So a lot of questions also as to whether or not they recovered that handgun, or what kind of ballistics evidence may have led them perhaps to this individual as well. So we have more questions than answers, other than the fact that we know the lockdown has been lifted, and at least according to the mayor, this community can breathe a sigh of relief. But
not really, because they let the guy go, the person of interest. And again, here you have the FBI tweeting out, oh, well, we got a guy, he's in custody, person of interest, then they got to let him go. It's not the right guy. So, again, Brown University, 800 cameras. And they have one shot of the guy, like, literally walking away. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you about ineptitude, because this was the president of Brown University yesterday.
I'm catching up right now.
President, with all due respect, 6 hours after this shooting, and you said you don't know what was going on in that classroom? How does that happen? Were they taking an exam? Were they meeting for a club?
I don't know. I don't know.
6 hours later, and you're the president, and you don't know?
I do not know.
Well, that's kind of concerning.
I love the reporter. 6 hours later, and you don't know. I do not. Now, again, this is what leadership should never look like. You got a shooting on campus. I want liaisons between the reactionary forces, whether it's Providence Police, whether it's campus police, whether it's teachers. I want to get all the information together. So before I hold a news conference, I want to know what class it was, what floor it was on, what they were doing in class, when it happened. I want to know all those things, because it will help you start to paint a picture as to why this classroom was targeted. Clearly, the classroom was targeted. This shooter did not go from classroom to classroom to classroom. He did not appear to shoot anybody going in the hallways. He went into the one classroom, and that's what he was targeting. Now, if it was a Judaic studies class, that's frightening if you're Jewish in America today, because you are a target. Now, anybody can be a target at any time. We have criminality that is running rampant, which is why I carry a firearm with me everywhere I go. Except in the states that don't allow me to, like New York and California, 2 states I frequent often, unfortunately. I was just in Washington, D.C. I can't carry a firearm there. I'm standing on a corner after the Real America's Voice show in Washington, D.C., waiting for my Uber. It's by the Capitol. Streets are empty, okay? Now, the streets are clean, but they're empty. Black guy on one of those scooters comes running by. I'm on the phone looking for the Uber, head on a swivel. I see him coming. And what does he say to me? F you. What did I do? F you. And I thought to myself instantly, this is the spot where a guy like me either gets shot and killed on a street corner, nobody around until somebody finds me later, or I'm stabbed. I don't have a gun because I can't carry one in Washington, D.C. So you know what I do to de-escalate? I ignored it. I could have been a big man. Who the fuck you talking to? What are you talking? You talking to me? Asshole? No. Ignore it. I didn't even look back too much to stare him down. I wanted to keep an eye on him on the corner of my head, but I wasn't staring him down. De-escalate, go home, go back to the bar, have a cocktail. I don't need to fight with some lunatic on a scooter. That'll get you killed, especially in this day and age where there's no regard for human life. Clearly, the shooter had no regard for human life at Brown and Bondi Beach. So you want to see ineptitude. This is Brett Smiley, beta male extraordinaire, okay? This is what happens when you elect liberals to run your city.
One of the students that showed tremendous courage literally said to me, you know, that active shooter drill they made me do in high school actually helped me in the moment. Which at the same time provided me hope and was so sad. We shouldn't have to do active shooter drills, but it helped. And the reason it helped and the reason we do these drills is because it's so damn frequent.
It's not so damn frequent, actually. 1 is too many, 100%. 2 is far too many. But it's not that frequent unless you listen to CNN. 75 school shootings this year, they say. Now, you would say, wait, I would have heard about 75 school shootings. Guy goes into Brown, shoots 4 people, you know, whatever, however many people, you're going to hear about it. The definition of a school shooting by this leftist group that keeps the statistics is anything that happens on school grounds. So in that, you've got suicides included in that. You've got accidental shootings including in that. You've got gang activity outside the school that is included in that. And I've gone through some of these reports. There's not 75 mass public shootings inside schools. Not even close. And you think about every school in America that starts and closes school every day in America. The chance of a mass shooting happening in your school is literally slim to none. The chance of it happening again is 100%. I will grant you that, which is why every school needs to be prepared. But the chances of it happening in your school is slim to none. But the chance of it happening again is 100%. So we be prepared. But this idea that it's happening too much, it's so sad. We have to do active shooter drills. No, you always be prepared. This guy shouldn't be whining. He should be angry. He should be telling the community we're on the hunt. Instead, he wants to break down in tears.
And so there'll be plenty of time, at least from my office, and I don't speak for any of the other public officials there. They're welcome to share if they so choose. There'll be plenty of time to talk about what advocacy and policy changes should be made. But we're still very, very much hard at work at the task at hand. And that is to be able to bring charges forward.
You have much confidence in that guy? You got 2 people dead, one of them the leader of the Republican Party on campus. okay? And you got 9 others injured. This guy went to the class for a reason. So, what is the response, do you think, from left-wing lunatic lawmakers? Well, I'll play some of those clips for you here in just a moment. Before I do, let me tell you about my friends over at Energized Health. EnergizedHealth.com is where I want you to go. We're coming into the holidays. Now is a great time to go on the website, watch the masterclass, book yourself a phone call, all right? What's today's date? It's the 15th of December. Do this over the next couple days. Book yourself a phone call, and then plan on starting right after the 1st. That's what I would recommend. It's what I did last year, and I lost 15 pounds in the first 2 weeks of the Energized Health protocol. No crazy workouts, no crazy diets, just getting hydrated at a cellular level. Joint pain goes away. Visceral fat gets melted away. That's the disgusting fat on the inside of your body, okay? Melts away. Body fat, that inner tube, melts away. And then, of course, all things with disease start to improve. It's amazing. All your levels go in the correct directions once you start getting hydrated at a cellular level. It's really, the science behind this is amazing. EnergizedHealth.com. That's EnergizedHealth.com. Tell them Grant Stinchfield sent you. Okay. Oh, Chris Murphy. Boy, oh boy. The Democrat anti-gunner from Connecticut.
Not shocking, because over the last year, President Trump has been engaged in a dizzying campaign to increase violence in this country. He is restoring.
Wait. President Trump is on a campaign to increase violence in the country. He brings the National Guard into cities to literally stop the violence, and it's working. Murders in these big cities where he's brought the National Guard in are down. Crime is down. Carjackings and stick-up men are down. What are you talking about, Murphy? President Trump's committed himself to stopping the violence.
Gun rights to felons and people who have lost their ability to buy guns. He eliminated the White House Office of Gun Violence Protection, and he has stopped funding mental health grants and community anti-gun violence grants that Republicans and Democrats supported in that 2022 bill. So he has been engaged in a pretty deliberate campaign to try to make violence more likely in this country. And I think you're unfortunately going to see the results of that on the streets of America.
No, that's not, in fact, what he did. Look, mental health care, all that, helpful. I'm not sure the federal government needs to be involved in that. I think that can be handled at a state level. But you want to know what is helpful, the most effective at the exact moment to stop it in its tracks, violence I'm talking about? It's putting more cops on the streets. The National Guard certainly helps. Putting criminals on notice, they will be prosecuted, which President Trump is doing at a federal level. And getting the ability for more men and women around the country who are good law-abiding citizens to carry firearms, also putting criminals on notice. You ain't going to get away with your bullcorn here. This is what President Trump is committed to. Supporting the Second Amendment. Supporting the freedoms of Americans to defend themselves. And you know what? Crime is down. So, Murphy, you are about limiting rights. You are about enabling criminals. You don't want criminals behind bars. President Trump is putting them there. But you'd rather have them roaming the streets. You're a freaking lying hypocrite.
That's a pretty big statement. He's in a campaign to make violence more likely?
Of course. I mean, he's knowingly restoring gun rights to dangerous people.
No, he's knowingly restoring gun rights to people that had their rights taken away fraudulently from the Biden administration and others, including if you're convicted of income tax evasion. Should that mean you're not allowed to defend your home once you get out of prison and you have paid your dues to society? Does that mean you can't protect your family at home because you were convicted of income tax evasion? Or some white-collar crime? That's not a violent criminal. Yes, their gun rights should be restored.
He is cutting off grants that have bipartisan support to try to interrupt violence in our cities or to try to get necessary mental health resources to families and children in need.
Let me tell you what these grants are really. They're really about limiting the Second Amendment, and they're a secret backdoor system to fund the anti-gun gun left. That's what they are. Every single one of these grants goes to some leftist organization that wants to take away your right to a firearm. So Murphy, oogats to you, okay? You have security surrounding you in the Capitol. Everywhere you go, you can't go without some Capitol police officer right there. And you want to take away my right to protect myself. Could have gotten me killed in Washington, D.C. last weekend. But thankfully, I'm enough of a man to understand that I don't need to act like a big guy to be a big guy. It's the best lesson I could teach anybody out there. Now, he wasn't alone. Raphael Warnock from Atlanta, Georgia, the senator who needs to be defeated, another anti-gun leftist.
Warnock, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Good morning. Good to be here with you.
It is good to have you. It is a somber morning, Senator. I do want to start right there with that mass shooting on Brown University claimed the life of 2 students. Senator, what is your message to the Brown University community, the broader community this morning?
It is a somber morning indeed. And as I make my way to my own pulpit this morning, I'm going to say a special prayer for Brown University and for our nation. And I can tell you that as a pastor who has presided over many funerals, I don't think that there's any pain deeper than when nature is violently reversed. And rather than children burying their parents, the parent has to bury the child. And so we pray prayers for these families. But we have to pray not only with our lips, but with our action. Any nation that tolerates this kind of violence year after year, decade after decade, in random places on our college and school campuses without doing all that we can to stop it is broken and in need of moral repair.
Okay. On the face of what he said, I think we can all agree with that. We want to pray for the victims and their family members. God bless them. Nobody deserves to go through this. This shouldn't happen. We shouldn't tolerate this happening. We've got to do all we could do to stop it. I agree with everything he said. The problem is what he wants to do to stop it is the exact opposite of how you stop it. You don't take guns away from the law-abiding. That's not how you stop it. You don't institute more, quote, gun-free zones. That's not how you stop it. You think Brown University lets students carry firearms on campus? No. It was a gun-free zone. It was one of those strictest gun-free zones in America. Providence has some of the strictest gun laws in America. The guy used a handgun, so now it wasn't the all vilified AR-15. It was a handgun. So now what are you going to do? Take away my handgun, my 9mm, my Glock, my SIG, P365? You're going to take that away from me? If they had their way, they would. Now I'm telling you, what if I was in that classroom? What if I was taking a class there? A gunman comes in with a firearm looking for the teacher or an individual, a specific individual, not looking for me right away. You think that gives me time to turn around and take that shooter out if I was carrying my firearm? Absolutely. Now, what if every class in America had somebody carrying a firearm, a good guy? You think there'd be the carnage we see on schools? Not a chance. Not a chance. Those are actionable items. You install 800 cameras. Cameras don't do you any good to stop the crime. It only does you good to capture the criminal. Now, you got 800 cameras, yet the problem is somehow you don't have any video of this guy. That's craziness to me. So here we have more liberal lunacy from these so-called leaders.
Somebody had said, and I want to make sure we're correct in reporting this, that he may have walked out of a building, and I'm wondering, how did he get access to the building, and is there video from inside the building?
That I don't have. I don't have the answer if there's video inside that building that depicts him. There is video inside that building. However, I haven't seen him on video inside that building, and he did walk out of the building.
So can you explain that to me, in all of us? So he was in the building, but we don't have video of him in the building.
We haven't recognized him in the video yet. We do see some video from inside the building of a commotion. Clearly, students are running. However, we don't have from the video that I've seen so far, We don't have the suspect depicted in a video.
Is there any reason to believe this is international terrorism, or is this just some disgruntled
That we don't know yet.
Last question was, is it terrorism? We don't know. If you yelled Allahu Akbar, as some are reporting, Laura Loomer, I don't know if that's the case or not. How do you not have the video with 800 cameras throughout campus? $71,000 a year to go to Brown University, and you can't put an armed security guard, I would say, on every floor, but if you can't do that in every building, they could respond, stop one of these guys in his tracks for 71 grand a year. The students don't deserve a little protection. We protect our banks. We protect our professional athletes and our arenas. We protect our politicians. Lord knows, you go to a movie set, all the actors and actresses are protected. But we can't protect students paying $71,000 a year. And we can't protect students in a high school where you have cities, inner cities, spending 30 grand a year per student, and I guess that doesn't include decent security. What an absolute joke. You want to know the problem with America? We don't take security seriously. Oh, we take the idea of squashing your firearm rights seriously, if you're a leftist. But we don't take the idea of protecting you seriously. These things happen over and over again, and schools still don't get their acts together. It's maddening. This, I believe, is the Providence police chief.
It's about the process. The most common question I've gotten for the last 24 hours, it revolves around the fact that Brown University is the most camera-ridden, most conscious piece of real estate in Rhode Island, and yet there seems to be little or no video evidence outside of that clip. You know, respecting the investigation, is there a lot more video that we're just not able to see yet because of the ongoing investigation, or is there simply no video?
So what we shared with you the other day is what we have that we could share, and then we'll continue to, again, we're continuing to collect evidence. As we speak, we have detectives out there trying to continue to find. So I don't want to tell you that there's no more video because we might find something within the next few minutes. So yes, it's possible, but what we gave you the other day is what we have. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got to be kidding me. And this is like the next day. There's no video. Why? That's a big question. Because, as I tell you folks, and if you're at home, okay, I've got an unbelievable security system in my house. The NRA, God bless them, put it in for me after we got some serious threats. My kid was threatened and those kinds of things. They chalked up the money, put a great security system in, cameras and everything. I'm grateful for that. But as I explained to the higher-ups at the NRA, who were fully aware of this, the cameras only help you catch the killer after I'm murdered. They don't do anything to stop a crime in progress. They only help you catch it. They collect evidence as it's happening. Now, could they be a deterrent? Maybe. I've got a sign up that says protected by video surveillance, but you know, wear a mask. So the cameras will help you solve the crime, not protect you. You know what helps protect me? An alert system, an alarm system, right? And then the only other thing that can protect me is guns. And I got guns all over the house in very safe spaces that are unavailable to unauthorized users. That's how you have to look at where you keep your weapons. Where unauthorized users cannot access them. Wherever you deem that to be legit, then that's what you deem legit. I don't need a law telling me I got to lock my firearm or keep it unloaded. Could you imagine 4 guys come bursting through the front door and I got an unloaded firearm in a safe and I got to go load the mag? It's not going to do me any good. I need access to that gun right away. And let me tell you something. I got access to my firearms right away in this house. All kinds, too. Lots. So when people issue me death threats, I talk about de-escalating. Well, you know, my line on all of it is, the door's unlocked, I'll leave the light on. Gets the message across. Reality is the door's not unlocked. And truthfully, I like the lights off. And the reason I like the lights off is because I know this house. An intruder doesn't. Dark, dark, dark is good. I have the upper hand. I have tactical advantage in my house when it's dark. So those are just some little tips for you that I've been using. Here's the chief again.
Now someone's in custody. How you all are working together to garner that information.
Custody is the wrong word.
Someone being detained, rather.
Oh, forgive us. Somebody's in custody. Custody's the wrong word. Are you freaking kidding me? What's the difference? Custody, detained. What's the difference, you woke idiots?
Now someone's in custody. How you all are working together to garner that information.
Custody is the wrong word.
Someone being detained, rather.
Correct. And so, yeah, someone being detained, it led us to that point as far.
Are you kidding me? This is what y'all are worried about as the chief of police, whether you say custody or detained. Nobody gives a shit. It means you got somebody in your midst. Somebody's being questioned. I don't care whether they're in custody or whether they're detained. We want a killer caught so he's not out there doing it again. Now, these idiots say, oh, there's no more threat. We haven't caught the killer. But how do you say there's no threat? Now, do I think this guy's coming back? You'd have to be a complete idiot to come back. But there's always a threat. If somebody says to me, is there any active threat to the community? I would say there's always a threat to the community. We do our utmost best to minimize threats to the community, but there's always a threat, so keep your head on a swivel, always. After we catch the guy, before we catch the guy, don't ever get a false sense of security. But they want you to have a false sense of security. And you know what happens when you have a false sense of security? You get killed. That's what happens. President Trump talked about this.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's...
All right, that I'm going to get to that in a minute, because this gets to about passing legislation, and this was the one that President Trump talked about.
And in Australia, you probably...
Oh, and that's the Australia. I'll get to that in a second. We're going to cover Australia here in a minute, because Australia has the exact same situation going on. Liberal ding-dongs that don't know how to keep a community safe. I'm telling you, you put me in charge of any community, I will have that community safer than you can say lickety-split. CFAM 454 Puppy says that whisper, I guess talking about the guy. Yeah, it was Joe Biden whispering in his ear, probably. Oh, I don't want to joke about it. All right, folks. Let me tell you real quick about my friends over at the Wellness Company. TWC.health/grant. Use the promo code GRANT. This new product, TheraBlue, is absolutely fabulous. It is a pain-penetrating gel. This gets deeper than any pain gel I have ever had. Why? Because it's backed with botanicals and peptides. And the science behind this allows it to penetrate deeply into joints and deeply into muscles. Now, it's a daily use pain gel. So if you have problem areas, your knees, your hips, your back, you use this every day. And it works. Dr. McCullough even stands by it. TheraBlue. Go to twc.health/grant. Use the promo code GRANT. Now, one of the most popular products also out there is Ultimate Spike Detox. You got to get that spike protein out of your system. I'm loading up on this, by the way. I've been sick this week. And instantly, the moment I started to load up on this, I started to feel better. This is a great daily supplement, by the way. Ultimate Spike Detox. Get that spike protein out. If you had the vax, or even if you had COVID, Dr. McCullough says this is one of his all-time favorites. twc.health/grant. Use that promo code GRANT for 10% off. You won't regret it. twc.health/grant. Use that promo code GRANT. Okay. Now, Australia. All right. How does Australia happen? So we know that this shooting unfolded for 10 minutes. That's them on the bridge. Cops end up getting there, take out one of the guys. We saw the rescue. But they basically have their way, killing, I believe it's 16 is the number now, 15 or 16, 29 people injured. Horrible. I'm surprised there's not more people dead. But do you want to see the airport in Sydney after this? This is why I'm telling you radical Islam and the open immigration system in countries like Australia, in countries like America, up until President Trump took office, is so dangerous.
Abu Bakr has arrived. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
This is in the airport.
Allahu Akbar. Free, free Palestine. Free, free. Free, free Palestine. Free, free.
Are you kidding me? That's what you get with radical Islam. Now, this poor Jewish community, they were celebrating Hanukkah at Bondi Beach. Hanukkah. And this is what the scene was. Running like crazy. Get out of there. It looks like a scene from Jaws when there's a shark attack. No Jaws. Two Islamic jihadists wreaking havoc on this poor community. Nobody should have to experience that. These are the shooters. Take a close look at them. The father is dead. The son on the left is not. High-powered rifles with scopes. They did what they had to do in order to kill as many people as possible. Maddening, sad. It's just awful. This is what some of the people that were there were saying after escaping.
We can kill the Jews. That's the Jews. Our government did nothing. Before Israel did anything. For 3 weeks, Israel didn't do anything. And here, there were marches and celebrations that Jews and Israelis, because not only Jews, all the Israelis were Bedouins killed, Arabs killed, foreign workers killed, German people were killed, like Argentina, everywhere they were killed. And what did Australia do? Our government, Albanese and Penny Wong, gave $25 million to Gaza. Why? To make Hamas stronger and to show people locally that it's okay to kill people? That's why we have it here. We're just celebrating.
You see what he's saying? Australian government gives millions of dollars to Hamas, is what he's saying, to help Palestine. And what is the message when you do that? The message is exactly what he said. It's okay to kill the Jews. We're literally funding the war against them. Now, whatever you think about the Jewish community, they don't deserve that. And whatever you think about the Jewish community, and I'm saddened by many in my party that have turned their backs on Israel and the Jews. But whatever you think of that, if you got to choose between the two, please tell me you're not picking Hamas. Please tell me you're not picking the two shooters on this bridge. Now, at the very worst, if you're not going to give money to Israel, you certainly can't be giving money to Palestine. Maybe you just don't give any money at all. That's my assessment. Everybody got to handle their own business. Don't give any money. Not to Ukraine, not to Israel, not to anybody. America's broke. We don't have the money to give. And yet I'm looking at this current budget, and there's billions and billions of dollars going to foreign nations all over the globe. Where's the money coming from? You and me. I don't want to give it to Senegal. I don't. But we are. That's my money. That's your money. Imagine if we stopped that out. These countries, they rely on America. But it's relying on the American taxpayer is what it's really doing. It's sad.
Kids were celebrating. Kids were celebrating. Kids were getting some food. So there were a lot of activities like face painting, bubbles, rock climbing. So kids being kids. There were a lot of kids, different age, from under 1 year old to like 15, 16. A lot of kids.
Well, they kill the kids, is what they do. Now, listen to the leaders in Australia talk about the shooting. It's the same situation in the United States we get from these liberal cities like Providence, Rhode Island.
And then we'll go filling then.
Left unchecked, as you were just saying, anti-Semitism leads to terrorism and violence targeting the innocent. Your government has come under criticism in claiming that it has effectively responded to the rise of anti-Semitism in Australia since October 7, 2023. In September, your government recognised a Palestinian state. Your ministers have attacked the Israeli government. Senior ministers refused to visit the sites of the October 7 massacres. And you created a special Islamophobia envoy alongside an anti-Semitism envoy. Have you taken the threat of anti-Semitism seriously, and can you guarantee the safety of Jewish Australians?
Yes, we have taken it seriously, and we've continued to act. We've continued to work with Jewish community leaders. We've continued to take all the advice from the security agencies to put in place special measures, and we'll continue to do so.
Yeah, you know what they're doing? They're going to double down on more gun control. Remember, Australia had a massive gun confiscation scheme. They went around the country and they picked up all the guns. Obviously, that didn't work. Murders did not drop in Australia. There was no measurable effect on crime other than the fact that you took the ability of good people to defend themselves away. Now, you think you've done enough? This is how they think, not just in Australia, but around the world. Listen to this. I don't know. Is he an imam? Is he a holy warrior? Quote, unquote. I don't know.
We can't take away from the fact, first and foremost.
Oh, look at what they listened to. They list him as an Australian Islamic scholar in Sydney. This was on Rumble last year.
We can't take away from the fact, first and foremost, that jihad is definitely part of our deen. And as Muslims, we should never ever shy away from this. And yes, there may be types of jihad, but of the peak of this jihad is that which the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ spoke about, and I'll read the hadith soon. And that is fighting in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. A physical fight, not the fighting of the nafs. Although your nafs is needed in order for your physical to go out in the path of Allah.
You hear what this mother scratcher is saying? He's literally telling you what I'm warning you, and you'll have liberal, pansy, flower dancing dopes telling me not to believe this guy. That no. All these Muslims coming to America, they're all here to bring peace and joy. He just told us that jihad is part of Islam and a big part of Islam. Why would I not believe him? Why would I not believe my eyes when I see two people go in and start shooting up Australia?
So we're not talking about the struggle of the nafs, we're talking about the physical jihad, the physical struggling against the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to make the word of Allah Azza wa Jal the highest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says to, which means not equal are those believers remaining at home other than the disabled and the mujahideen.
Those are freedom fighters, the mujahideen, by the way. Terrorists.
Who strive and fight in the cause of Allah with their wealth and their lives. Allah has preferred the mujahideen through their wealth and their lives. And for those who remain behind by degrees. And to both Allah has promised the best reward. But Allah has preferred the mujahideen over those who remain.
He's just telling you that God wants you to go act like a terrorist. And He prefers you over that now. Not my God. Not a chance in hell. And He's telling you they'll reward you for this too. They. Allah. Why would we not believe Him? Tell me. If you don't believe Him, you're an ostrich putting your head in the sand. And you will end up like the victims in Australia. You will end up like the victims at Brown University. Because you just want to believe people are inherently good. I actually believe people are inherently bad. This is a very sad state of affairs. And that good people are actually rare. People you can trust are actually rare. I try to surround myself with them. I have good intuition. I trust my intuition. You ever shake someone's hand and you get a bad feeling about them? Trust that, by the way.
With a great reward. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds, the creator of everything, is telling us who He prefers. And Allah Azza wa Jal prefers those who go out and fight in His path, and He prefers them over those who sit idle.
Bingo. Go fight on my behalf, says there Allah. Don't sit idle, and I'll give you the 78 virgins or whatever the hell else it is. He's telling you to go out and commit these heinous acts, and that's exactly what that father-son crew did. So what do we do about that? Listen to this guy.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes, there was two shooters, one on the bridge, one under the bridge, and just started to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot, change magazine and just shoot. Simple as that. 20 minutes, was 4 policemen there, nobody gave fire back, nothing, like they are froze, like for, it looked like 20 minutes, like, and they shoot, the guy changed magazine. I look at him all the time. I was with 2 of my babies under me, and I look at that, and it's just rifle and a pistol, and just shoot. And the other one was under. They started to come close to the audience. I think one of the people took his rifle and shoot him. That's one of them. That's what I saw. I didn't know how much I saw, but...
Who were they targeting?
Oh, all the crowd. Anyone. Jewish. Just shoot. Doesn't matter who. Men, all, kids, everyone. Was no...
Did they say anything?
I couldn't hear. Like the shooting was so loud that we couldn't hear if they say. I was too far. Like he was on the bridge. I was near the tent. So, but I saw. I look at him. I look what he shot. I look at his rifle. He aimed. He did. He really take his time. He should take his time. And 4 policemen there didn't give fire back. I don't understand why. Why?
What was going through your mind?
Well, there were some reports of the police froze. There were a couple women police officers froze. At some point, an officer got there and took out one of the shooters. God bless them. You can't freeze. And again, you had that hero. Absolute hero. And I'll show him over and over and over again, because can you imagine the bravery this man had going up against an armed gunman and not being armed yourself?
Oh!
The element of surprise, clearly.
Oh mon gros! Mais il y a son pote, il va se faire tirer dessus.
Pretty amazing. Really is. And that guy apparently was injured. He also happens to be a Muslim. Thank you. Which goes to my 100% belief that not all Muslims believe in this ideology that jihad is good and you're rewarded for it. It's clear not all Muslims believe that. But you have an awful lot that do. And you only need a few to wreak havoc on society. Do we want to take that risk? And I believe that it is increasing now more as some of these members of the Islamic community have been in the country for years. They're now realizing the quest to take over. So when you see Sydney, Australia, and the airport is overrun, they've infiltrated literally in the entire country. England, Paris, France, same situation. These are very, very dangerous times. Very, very dangerous times. All right. Folks, that's going to do it for us. I'm a little under the weather today. I got a cold. I think I got it from my buddy in D.C., which is no big deal. I enjoyed seeing him, but that's what happens. So we will see you on the Real America's Voice show tonight. We'll break more of this down with more updates on the shooting, liberal lunacy. And then I want to break down the dangers of AI. And here's one of the things I see with AI. People are now blaming AI for their own actions. It's completely unacceptable. You can't blame AI for your own actions. AI can't trick you into doing something heinous. But again, that's what's happening now in courts across America. We'll talk about that on the Real America's Voice show. Thank you, Shelley. All is good. It could be worse. I feel pretty good. Not awful, as I told my very special lady friend this morning. I don't feel awful. I just don't feel great. With that, Stinchfield's Army rolls. Thanks to all of you. We will see you tomorrow, same time, and tonight on the Real America's Voice Show. Thanks for watching, everybody.